Listen, I'm working right now, so make it quick, okay? Well, for you, a room and some company will run you 120 caps, up front. Right at the top of the stairs, honey. The room with the big bed. Take...
Well, what do we have here, huh? Let me guess. You've heard about the mistress who makes all your fantasies come true. So you followed the call of your desires, all the way to the arms of Joanna. Moi. Now that you've found me, I wonder, do you have what it takes? Oh, confident. I like that. So, what do you want to do with what you've got? Oh my, aren't you something else? I guess you'll have to see for yourself what I can do, huh? Consider it on the house, honey. Follow me, hun. Come here, baby. I'm all yours. Are you ready to be all mine? Okay. Lay down and I'll take care of you.
Hey there, sugar. I'm Dazzle. What can I do for you? Or to you? You're so handsome, I might just give you a discount. 100 caps, no kissing, no rough stuff. Yeah, you are different from my usual guys. Fine, 50 caps, but don't tell anyone. We can go right over here, baby.
Really? Well, I don't even know what to say to that. Ha ha ha. Okay, why don't you help me out? And in the meantime, I'll think about where to take advantage of your skills. Good to see you again. You do? That's wonderful. Let me see what you brought. All right. That's gonna net you... Oh, that makes me so happy. You are too much. Hey, stranger. Where you been, huh? I missed you. You're kicking me into gear, huh? Well, I think I'll drive my chassis over to your pad. Wait for me down there and don't forget the oil. That was something else. I look forward to the next ride. Once I recover, you monster.
Hey, baby, what say you and me get acquainted? It's worth every cap, baby. I'll do things to you you didn't even think was possible, and leave you feeling like everything's right in the world. So get on the bed already. I got something to show you. You know.
Hey, mister, looking to relax? Looks like you carry a lot of tension in your shoulders and upper thighs. I think I'd like that. A lot. Maybe even give you a discount for my company. Pittance, sugar. And I'll leave you without a care in the world. Oh, we will, sugar. We will.
Hello, stranger. You looking for a good time? Old but spry, honey. So long as my back don't give out, I can make a living lying on it. May not be as fresh as Sweetie or Jimmy, but pretty Sarah keeps me around for a good reason. Experience. Best prices around, so long as you don't try putting anything someplace it was never intended. How's that sound? You won't notice anything once the lights are out, hon. The places that count are still firm enough. We don't need the NCR.
Fully integrated security technotronic officer active and reporting for duty. Yes, sir. Vestal reporting for duty. Please assume the position. Servos active. Operation complete. Thank you for your business. Numbness will subside in several minutes, awaiting further orders. Yes?
Howdy. I'm available, sweetie, but you'll have to do as I say. Meet me upstairs. I'll try to leave you in one piece. Good. Howdy.
If you should find it, do not, repeat, do not belittle a super mutant for taking the bunny slope. Well, that's all I have for you. This is Mr. New Vegas, wishing you ladylike luck tonight.
Benny's gonna show you the tops. I hope you're built sturdy, you crazy broad. More than you ever dreamed, baby. You're platinum, pussycat. You know how to swing. Nice Charlies, too. Give him a shake for the Ben man, will you? Hello. Oh, that was a nice bit of hey-hey, girlie. You're a real ring-a-ding broad. Hold me, will you? I swear you wore me out. Huh? Oh!
Hey, what can Tyrone do for you? You trying to get me busted? Keep your damn voice down. Lieutenant Hayes already has his eye on me. Look, I already told Chomps the NCR is getting suspicious of all these misplaced supplies. Bigger risk means bigger cost. 300 caps bigger. Well, it's been a while. All right, let's do this.
You've, indeed, become the greatest hunter the Thorn has ever seen. The best I've ever seen. You've earned the honor of being part of this sacred ground. Come to me often, and I'll share with you the wealth of the Thorn. You've done enough to last many lifetimes, stranger. But I'd like you to come see me again. Your bravery surpasses that of any other, and I've come to admire your actions. Before death takes us, I would know you deeper. Come with me, my hunter. Even the strongest creatures need their rest, and their companionship. I've been looking forward to this.
Buona giornata. Come stai oggi?
I was just wondering where you and I stand.
I guess I'm still on the fence. Show me you want to make lives better out here. Then we'll talk.
Didn't realize I had been.
So this is you not even trying, huh? I appreciate it. Too few folks can be bothered. Of course, in my experience, if you want to do real good, playing nice only gets you so far. I mean, look at Diamond City. A place I've been trying to warn of real danger. But every issue I publish, all I hear is, "Oh, Piper, why don't you ever publish anything happy? Piper, why can't you write something nice for a change?" It's enough to make me want to hang up my hat some days.
Sounds like it must be exhausting.
Huh, no kidding. But people, they deserve to know the truth. Sure, it can be scary, knowing what's really out there. A night doesn't go by, I'm not afraid some Institute drone will decide today's the day to pay old Piper and family a visit. But it's worth it, because I know the truth. That's what protects us.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. How can you protect you and yours if you don't know what you're facing?
Exactly. Most folks, though, they'd prefer a comforting lie. Not me. I've seen firsthand what the truth can do. My sister and I, we grew up way out in the Commonwealth. Tiny little settlement. Our dad, he was part of the local militia. Keeping the raiders off our backs and the mirelurks out of our latrines, as he'd describe it. Well, one day, our dad turns up dead. captain, asshole named Mayburn, claims raiders must have gotten him on watch. Well, I didn't buy it. I start making inquiries. Turns out, the captain, he'd sold out. Thought he wasn't getting paid enough to babysit the town. He was gonna leave the gates open one night. Let a group of raiders sack the place and take a cut of the profits. My dad found out and was gonna turn Mayburn in, but Mayburn got to him first. And I wasn't about to let that bastard get away with murder. I tried talking to the mayor, but he wouldn't listen. So, I papered the entire town in posters. Wanted for gross dereliction of duty, Captain Mayburn. The mayor sure wanted to talk after that. The town threw Mayburn out on his ass and were dug in when a very surprised group of raiders finally showed.
Piper, you saved those people.
No. Those people saved themselves. Because they knew the truth. But hey, I'm sorry if I've been rambling. I just get fired up sometimes. It's just nice to talk to someone who actually seems to get it, you know? So, should we head out?
Are things all right between us?
It's hard to say at the moment. I think I need you to show me you're not just out here for yourself.
Are things all right between us?
Well, things aren't bad. Because believe me, you'd know if they were. But I suppose we could be doing better.
It usually finds me.
Hey, I'm not one to judge. Honestly, it's just nice to not be doing it alone for a change. In my line of work, things tend to get pretty hairy. I've been shot at, poisoned, nearly executed. Heck, until recently they called the lockup in Diamond City the Piper Suite. Anything for a story, I suppose.
Someone poisoned you?
You kidding me? I barely had the paper going before I got poisoned. First time, I just published an article about this cartel of caravans that had been driving up food prices in the city. Article went over well, even got a boycott of their goods started in town, so I figured I'd pop over to the Dugout Inn for a victory drink. I'd already taken a swig by the time I realized something was wrong. Vadim, he wasn't at the bar. The beer tasted off, even more so than usual. And I started feeling real woozy. I don't know what he slipped me, but I knew I had to get it out. I'm looking around for something, and there it is, the still, and I just start chugging moonshine. Honestly, I'm still not totally convinced it was better than just dying from the poison, but it worked. Blech. And while I was passed out on the floor, security managed to grab the bartender. He eventually ratted out his bosses, and they all got to share some time in the pen.
You've led an exciting life.
Sure have. But honestly, now that I'm out here with you, I feel like I'm just getting started. Getting in trouble is what folks like us do. I mean, you and I are out here putting ourselves at risk so people in the Commonwealth can have a chance at a better life. Not for praise or reward or glory, but because it's right. I just wanted to let you know I'm real happy to be along for the ride.
I wouldn't want it any other way. I like having you close.
Oh, thanks, Blue. That's awfully sweet and unexpected of you. So you want to get out of here?
Thanks. You too.
No, I didn't mean like... I could just use some help. This isn't the sort of thing I'd normally bother anyone else with, but you just seem really good with people, and I've got this issue with my sister, Nat, becoming me.
Becoming you? What do you mean?
I'm just terrified she's gonna start taking up like her big sis. I mean, think about the life we lead. No offense intended, Blue, but Personal safety doesn't exactly seem like either of our strong suits. I can't have her ending up like her big sister, dodging bullets and running from all the people she pisses off. It's part of the reason I'm on the road so much. Part of the reason I'm here with you. I keep thinking, maybe if I make myself scarce, if I'm not around her enough, she'll cool off. She'll just go back to being sweet, innocent Nat, paper girl, an all-around upstanding citizen. What do I do, Blue?
You just love her. Family's precious. The last thing you want to do is drive them away, because you might lose them forever.
You're right. I can't risk that. Thanks, Blue. Who'd expect wandering off with a stranger to turn out this well? They really don't make them like you anymore. You're a hell of a friend, you know that?
Just friends, huh?
Well, yeah. I guess, but I thought so. Unless, you know, something changes. God, did it get hot in here? But hey, thanks again for listening. It's a real weight off my chest to be able to talk it out with someone. So, you wanna hit the road?
Permission.
Hey.
Look at Blue, you got a minute?
Sure thing.
Just what you said about Nat. I've been going over it again and again in my head, and what you said was right. Family's too precious. What kind of life is she gonna have if I never go near her again? It's just... sometimes it feels like the only things I've got in life are Nat and the paper. Having someone I can count on, someone like you, it's meant a lot to me. Not a lot of people want to hang around with a nosy reporter.
Yeah, but you're my kind of nosy.
You're the exception. I haven't exactly made a lot of friends in this career. I just wanted to right the things I thought were wrong. And when Nat and I first got to Diamond City, there was a lot of wrong. Crooked guards, lousy infrastructure. There was a hole in the exterior wall that was patched over with a bookcase. One bookcase. That's it. I started the paper more as an act of desperation than anything else. Turned out I wasn't the only one who wanted things to change. After the first couple of editions, people may not have agreed with what I said, but everyone was listening.
Attention, Minutemen. Words come in that a settlement needs our help. Please respond if you can.
Still, a lot of work to fix that town.
Oh yeah, but it's come a long way. When that first edition hit the stands, I felt like I'd finally done something worth doing. But afterwards, things changed. People didn't want to talk the way they used to. It seemed that overnight I'd gone from being Piper, friend and confidant, to Piper, the nosy snoop. A lot of folks, they haven't treated me the same since. Started to feel like the only person I could count on was my little sis.
You can count on me, Piper.
I know I can. You're not afraid of me like everyone else. I was sure that the paper would be the best thing I ever did in my life, but being here with you now I don't know. I've needed someone like you in my life for a long time, Blue. I just never expected I'd actually get them. So thank you for being the friend I can count on.
It sounds to me like you're interested in becoming more than just friends.
Oh, I mean, I'd be lying if I said I never thought about you that way. Not that I'm always thinking that way. It's just, Blue, I'm loud and pushy and constantly getting in over my head. Why would someone like you ever want someone like me?
You don't need to be flawless, Piper. You're perfect for me.
Perfect, huh? That's a new one. Well, well, I think you're perfect too. Goodness, Blue, I don't know what to say. You're everything I could ever ask for. Come on, let's not keep the world waiting. Wakey, wakey, bro. Come on.
How do you feel about our relationship?
Rather be with you than being leered at by raiders while fighting in a cage.
Your thoughts?
Raiders, eh? Bunch of knobs, if you ask me.
How do you feel about us?
Could be worse. Could be better. What do you want? A daily report?
Go ahead.
Appreciate it. After Tommy stuck me with you, I was expecting to hate your guts. Not only because you agreed to pick up me contract, but because I was waiting for you to order me around like hired help. Now, so far, you've been treating me like a friend. Hell, you've been damn near nice to me. Now, I don't mean to sound ungrateful, but your kindness is starting to make me wonder if there's anything I learned in the combat zone. It was that nobody does things for other people without expecting something in return.
Surviving the combat zone must have been rough.
That's putting it nicely. I spent 3 years living at the combat zone. Smelled like puke and piss. But I called it home. I was making a few caps. Had me own bed to sleep in and 3 hot meals a day. Then the raiders took over the place. You know that lot. You aren't exactly what you'd call the gentle type. After they moved in, if you didn't keep looking over your shoulder, you were liable to get sucker punched or robbed. Or worse. Didn't take me long to learn that I had to put my hard-earned caps to good use. Buying friends was essential to making life easy. So, I guess I'm waiting for you to hand me a bill. You know what I mean?
You don't owe me a thing.
Now I'm having a real hard time believing that. I'll tell you what. Give me some time and I'll think of something I can do to repay you. I'm not a rich girl, but I'm sure we can agree on something. After all, what are friends for?
We didn't have any other choice, did we?
What you need? You have time to talk now. Still have something important to say.
Go on.
I'm not sure how to put this. We've been on the road together for a while. And we've taken some hard knocks. But through all that crap, I notice you've always been sticking by me. You know, watching me back and making sure I don't do anything stupid. I think maybe it's time to tell you a little bit about who you're traveling with. There's no reason for us to keep acting like we're strangers.
It would be nice to know more about you.
You're saying that now, but when you hear me story, you might regret it. It all starts with 2 wastes of humanity I suppose you could call me parents. I'm convinced I was a mistake, because I can't remember a single moment that they treated me like their daughter. I was yelled at and beaten. Everything I did was wrong. Nothing but a nuisance in their eyes. The whole time I was telling myself that they had to love me, even if it was just the tiniest bit, because they never kicked me out. Then me 18th birthday arrived, and I found out why they kept me around. They slapped a shock collar around me neck and sold me to slavers. They didn't even care enough about me to say goodbye. 18 years of suffering through that shite, and all I was worth to them was a pocket full of caps.
My God, I'm so sorry.
Thanks. But there's more to the story. It would be easy to blame me charming personality on me parents, but they didn't make me this way. I did. I was with those slavers for 5 years. Roughest 5 of me goddamn life. The things they made me do. The way they used me for their amusement. It sickens me to me stomach even thinking about it. But I bided me time and learned to use their own methods against them. Stealing a few caps out of a sleeping man's pocket is a piece of cake. As long as you don't get greedy.
I don't know how you survived.
That makes 2 of us. It took every ounce of patience I had. But after 5 years, I had finally pocketed enough to buy me own way out of there. But instead of heading off to try and repair the shambles of me life, I gave in to me rage and I headed home. You can imagine the look on me parents' faces when I kicked open their door. What you can't imagine is what they looked like after. After I emptied me gun into them.
You did what you had to do.
Did I? When I close me eyes, all I can see is their faces twisted with fear. And then my mind starts wandering and I start judging myself. And it's ripping me the fuck apart. You think I inject myself with all that shite and drink myself drunk because I'm a tough Irish girl? I do it so I can forget and move on with my miserable life. So there you are. The entire flawed package known as Kate, stripped bare for your perusal.
Don't worry. I haven't lost faith in you.
I knew I was taking a chance telling you all this. I'm just glad I haven't disappointed you.
I'm always here for you, Kate. There's nothing you can say that would ever change that.
Oh, well, that's not what I expected you to say. Sorry. I didn't realize you cared that much about me. And here I thought I was being stupid, bothering you with me problems. It feels good to know if I need you, you'll be there for me. And I'll always be there for you, too.
What's the matter, Kate?
Everything is the matter. We're friends now, which means I can trust you with anything. I'm also hoping it means you've got me back, because I need it now more than ever. I'm sick. And I don't think I can hide it from you anymore.
Okay, calm down and take a deep breath. If you're sick, I want to help you.
Okay. It's like this. Ever since I left home, I've been using Psycho. I don't know why I'm still taking that crap, but I can't stop. And believe me, I've tried. I can't even go a day without it anymore, and I'm fucking sick and tired of it. I've even been doing it behind your back. Sneaking doses when I think you aren't looking. Worst of all, it's been making me sick. I've been spitting blood and I don't feel right inside. I need to get this shite out of me system before I wind up dead.
I'd like to give you a room here in the vault. A place you can call your own. It's in the main hall.
Can your psycho addiction be cured?
Normally a wasteland doc could handle it, but I've been using the stuff so damn long they can't help me anymore. There's only one other way I know, but it's not gonna be easy. There's supposed to be a vault somewhere out here. A place called Vault 95. I've heard that Vault Tech used it for some kind of social experiment. Stuck a bunch of junkies inside to poke and prod. Well, they supposedly had some special method to clean up those blokes in there. Some kind of a machine or something. If we could get inside, maybe that machine could help me.
No problem. We'll get you there.
I can't believe how kind you're being to me, even when I'm letting you down. Look, I don't want you to think I'm some kind of low-life junkie. A stupid girl who's harming herself for no good reason. From one friend to another, all I'm asking is for your help. When you're ready, take me out to Vault 95 and help me put an end to me pain.
Hey.
The answer to me problems is sitting in that room. But I don't know if I should go through with it.
We've come so far. Don't turn back now.
I know you risked your life getting us down here. But what if the Psycho's the only thing keeping me together? What if this opens me eyes and I don't like what I see? There were reasons I dulled the pain. Things I didn't want to face. Things I was trying to forget. I'd rather be spitting blood than reliving the past.
We'll face that pain together.
You've already done so much, but you keep offering to do more. Well, who the hell am I to look a gift horse in the mouth? I'm gonna sit in the chair. Whenever you're ready, you go ahead and throw the switch.
Are you all right, Kate? How are you feeling?
Strange. I feel really strange. Everything feels different. Everything feels clearer. Colors, sounds, smells. Nothing is like I remember. I can't believe it worked. The cravings, the pain, hell, even the rush. They've disappeared. Was I really that far gone?
I'm glad you're all right. I was worried about you.
Seems you're not the only one. I have a feeling that Tommy had this in mind all along. Clever old bastard kicked me out of the combat zone so I'd clean myself up, and somehow knew you'd be up for the challenge. I guess he saw something in you that I missed.
Oh yeah? Like what?
You know what I'm talking about. Look, I'm never gonna forget what you did for me today. You stepped up and helped when everyone else cashed out. I know I suck at thank yous, but that's the best you're gonna get out of me. Now how about we get out of here and leave this place far behind?
If you don't work on Prime, I'll have you shot.
Ooh. I love it when you talk dirty.
You son of a bitch. And for a moment there, you almost had me thinking that you actually cared about the Commonwealth. And about me. Fine. You want your robot fixed? I'll fix it. Just stay the hell out of my way.
Our vertibirds should give us the air superiority we need to win this war.
Do you have a minute? I think we should talk.
I always have time to listen to you, Kate.
Good. Because this isn't easy for me to say, and I want to get it right. Where do I begin? Did you know I spent 3 years fighting at the combat zone? 3 years of getting beaten to hell by a bunch of losers and lunatics. After the matches were over, I'd spit out the blood, stitch me wounds, and do a couple of shots of Psycho to keep me going. I fucking hated it. I hated the crowds, I hated the other fighters, and I hated myself. I never understood why I put myself through all that. Until now. It was because I was alone. And I think deep down, I wanted to die. I wanted one of my opponents to crush the life out of me, the easy way out.
I understand.
I don't think I'm being clear with you. I've never been good with these things. My life's been nothing but one huge failure after another. You've heard all my stories, and you know the prices I've paid. There were a few times, when things got really bad, that I found myself staring down the barrel of my own shotgun. I don't know why I didn't pull the trigger. I guess I was praying that I could find a single decent scrap of humanity in this fucked up world. And then, what you did for me back there at Vault 95, it was like the answer to those prayers. That's the first time in me life I fully depended on someone else, and they didn't let me down. God damn it, I'm making a mess of this.
It's all right, Kate. Let it all out.
I'll be fine. I just need to be getting to the point. The longer we've been spending time together, the more I'm beginning to realize what you mean to me. And I'm not just talking about you watching me back or sharing a drink together. I mean more than that. Before we met, I'd never let me guard down around anyone. I didn't dare. But with you, I feel like I can let you in and see me for everything that I am. For better or for worse. Look, I can't go back to the way things were before we met. I won't. But what I need you to do is look me in the eyes and tell me you feel something too.
Of course I do. I'm in love with you, Kate.
You're what? You said you're in love with me. I didn't know. I mean, I felt something between us, but I thought it was something else. Why? Why would you fall in love with someone as screwed up as I am?
To tell you the truth, we're both a little screwed up. A perfect match for one another.
I can't argue with that. This has to be the first time I put all my cards on the table and didn't end up losing everything. You don't know how much this means to me. To have someone special in my life. I promise you. I mean to make the most of it. So, I think I might have pulled a muscle or something.
Attention!
What is it?
Is everything all right between us?
I find these traveling arrangements quite acceptable.
Just wanted to check in, see how you feel things are going between us.
As long as we stay clear of vaults, I am quite content.
I have some time.
I have spent much effort gathering information in our travels so far, and my self-diagnostics have come to a grim conclusion. It is not lack of data or lack of collaboration which stifles my scientific progress. The inescapable truth is there has never been a great robot scientist.
I'm sure your research isn't that bad.
You are polite to say this, but if something does not change, my efforts will be mere stagnation. The greatest scientific minds of history, the Einsteins and the Curies, my namesake, have had something beyond raw data analysis capabilities. They have had a spark. This elusive inspiration is something I must possess.
If there's a way you can do that, you should.
In fact, I must. If I am to advance my understanding of medicine in this strange world, I must embark on a great adventure. I must become human, or as close as I can. I must find a way to download all that I am into a human brain.
I'm willing to help, Curie.
And you save me once again. If you find someone, a brain surgeon, an artificial intelligence programmer, or someone who is an expert in matters of the head, please bring me to them.
I'm not a mechanic. What could she possibly want from me?
Oh, this doctor can help me? Greetings, doctor. I wish to download my data and core programming into a human brain.
You want what? Is she serious?
Curie has a lot of pre-war research data, but she can't continue her important work as a robot.
Why not?
There are fundamental limitations in my robotic systems. I have no capacity for the human trait of inspiration.
I've never considered anything like you're proposing. It's an interesting problem. The memories wouldn't be hard. We translate those from the brain to computers and back all the time here. It's how the loungers work. Her personality, though, all the extra pieces of robotic programmed decision-making, a normal organic brain wouldn't know what to do with them. A synth brain, on the other hand, well, it's already somewhere between the two.
So it is possible, then?
Likely, even. We just need a synth, and I may be able to help with that. I've worked on synths before, giving them memory wipes so they can live a life free of the Institute. But the procedure isn't always successful. If something goes wrong, it can leave them in a brain-dead state. Living, but with no cognition. I know a caretaker for one of these brain-dead synths. If they're willing, we could try transferring your friend's consciousness into her.
I'd like to try.
We just need her caretaker's consent. Give me a day to get in contact with them. They're understandably cautious, but I think they'll hear me out.
I will stay with the doctor. Assuming all goes well, I want to be ready for the procedure.
The caretaker should get back to me soon. She's not
Have the caps to keep her alive anymore. Life support ain't easy or cheap, you know? I was gonna pull the plug on her. What you're proposing sounds a little better. Better than letting her rot.
She'll be giving what's left of her life for someone else.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Since G5 has no one else, for what it's worth, you have my consent.
Thank you. I know this must be difficult.
Yeah, I'll leave you to it.
Curie, let's begin. Curie, terminate all non-essential operations.
Affirmative.
All right. Connection complete. I have access to your friend's memories. G5's already been prepped, so this shouldn't take long. Yes. There.
My chest.
What is happening?
Just breathe. It's an autonomic function. Just let your body do what it must.
I feel so strange.
Listen to me. Can you hear me? What is your name?
My designation is Contagions, Vulnerability, Robotic, Infirmary Engineer. Or Curie.
You had me worried there.
Do not concern yourself. I feel better now.
Good. Very good. Now let's test some cognitive functions. What is 1 plus 2?
3.
If I threw a baseball at your head, what would you do?
Move.
Think of a strong memory. The first that comes to mind. Tell me about it.
Dr. Burrow was very old. He was the last living scientist in my section of Vault 81. He was on his bed, very weak. He said to me, "Curie, you must..." And he died before he finished the sentence. Oh, my insides feel peculiar. What is that?
You might be feeling grief for a friend.
This unit has no friends, but there. My chest is tightening when I think of poor Dr. Burrow.
The operation appears successful. But I think it will take a lot of adjustment for your new friend. She may need your help to make the transition.
Thank you, Doctor, for this opportunity.
I don't often say this, but I hope heaven is looking out for you.
Hey.
You need something, yes?
Hi.
Remember, to breathe. I keep thinking if I forget to do this, no more Curie. And suddenly, all this excitement we do, there is an element of something new. What if my arm is blown off? It is not so simple to repair this now.
Don't worry. I'll keep you safe.
That makes me feel better. Calm. I will be fine. It is coming to me. Quickly, I hope. Just bear with me. I am sure my research will blossom with this magnificent new hardware.
Sure. I enjoy talking with you.
As do I. I owe you so very much, and I do not mean to sound ungrateful, but I fear I am barely holding myself together.
It's all right. I'm here for you.
Thank you. That means so much. Becoming a synth is just so overwhelming. At first it was a struggle just to master basic functioning. How to brush the teeth, how to operate with only 2 hands, etc. But now I am full of inconsequential thoughts, feelings. How do you do everything with this whirlwind in the head?
I hope some of these inconsequential feelings involve me.
Yes. No. And see, now my head goes ever more. Spin, spin, spin. You make it look so effortless. Like breathing. But for me, it is so hard to focus, to do research. And the inspiration is as elusive as ever. I fear I will never contribute anything to the world.
The world? Not so sure, but you've certainly made a difference to me.
More feelings. No words for them. The saving grace in all of this is you. As a robot, I had much appreciation for you. But now, it is deeper. I am still loyal. But now I do this because I want to. Because you are my friend.
So, just friends? Nothing more than that?
I feel very funny. I must cut this short. My eyes, they are malfunctioning. Adieu.
Heads up.
May I be of assistance? We must talk. You are so very, very distracting. You know this, yes?
You're pretty distracting yourself.
I had a point. A reason. Oh, yes. My control of feelings is worse than before. And you are no help. With your teasing of poor little Curie. But it is not just you. Sometimes a simple compliment, nice hair, and I am flustered, confused. Other times, people suggest the strangest and most lurid things, and I am even more confused. Why do people do this?
Because you're so cute when you're confused.
You are not making any of this easier, you? Oh, I must get a handle on this if I am ever to advance my experiments.
Hey,
I simply must share. I have news.
I can think of better things to get excited about.
Oh, that's so. No, I will not let you derail me. I begged to become a synth for a reason. For science. To be able to make real progress in studying the medical arts. I have had a breakthrough. Using a new strain of mutfruit, I have discovered a way to greatly improve the restorative properties of stimpaks. I realize this is not earth-shaking, but it means that inspiration does exist.
I know it wasn't easy, but you did it.
I find my head full of notions. Experiments. Many will fail, but maybe I will make more discoveries. And you have given me this capacity. And beyond that, so much more. The world is full of life, possibilities. You are very dear to me. My close friend. And I hope I can return the many favors you have given me.
What we have between us is deeper than friendship.
My very first thought in all this excitement was I must tell you. It wouldn't feel real until I shared it with you. You know, you mean very much. Oh, I am so terrible at this.
It's okay. You mean a lot to me, too.
I dared not hope. When we're apart, I guess and second guess. I should be only thinking about this achievement. Instead, my thoughts, they linger on you.
Maybe I can take you out to dinner, see a movie, or whatever people do these days.
I may be getting this out of order, but I love you. And I would like this very, very much. The world seems so very bright, and I cannot wait to see what becomes of this. Sleep well, my love? I feel so wonderfully rested.
How do you feel about our relationship?
I haven't been able to make that evaluation yet. When I do, I'll let you know.
Nothing else I needed.
Not a problem.
Paladin dance.
Do you want to have that talk now?
Of course. What's on your mind?
Thank you. This isn't a formal meeting. I simply want to clear the air. I think we may have gotten off on the wrong foot when we first met, and I feel like I owe you an apology. Expecting you to embrace the standards of the Brotherhood without having a history with us was unfair. And given that you've adjusted so well to our beliefs, I don't think I needed to push so hard.
That's very kind. Thank you.
Well, you deserve it. When I was an initiate, my sponsor was Paladin Krieg, toughest squad leader I ever served with. He was a model soldier, embodying the values every trainee was striving to achieve. Fiercely loyal, secure in his beliefs, and brave to a fault. From the moment I was assigned to his squad, I was singled out. It felt like he was pushing me harder than the rest of the team. I fought by his side for years, and we had some seriously close calls. But he never explained to me why I was treated that way.
It sounds like he was trying to motivate you.
If he was, I never got a chance to ask. After I was promoted to Paladin, and I'd moved on to my own squad, I received word that Krieg was killed at Adams Air Force Base. The news was like being kicked in the stomach. I mean, I'd lost some of my brothers and sisters before, but his death, well, it really got to me. It's taken me a long time to realize it, but the reason Krieg was so tough on me, is the same reason I'm so tough on you. It's because I believe in you. And I don't want to see any of your potential go to waste.
I'm flattered that you have so much faith in me.
You've earned that faith by your own hand. Well, I've said what I had to say, and I hope that it meant something to you. I trust you'll keep this in confidence, of course. Some of that information was of a personal nature, and, well, I'd like to keep it that way.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Thank you. This is difficult for me to say, so I hope you'll bear with me as I try to get through it. When you were first placed under my sponsorship, I had some serious reservations about it. Despite all that, this has turned out to be a rewarding experience. For both of us. At this point, honestly, I don't feel like there's anything else I could teach you about being a Brotherhood soldier that you don't already know. It's apparent from your attitude and your actions that you intend to keep those ideals close to your heart.
I'm flattered to hear this, but I feel like there's more.
There is. I'm just not very good at these sort of things. Let me start at the beginning. I grew up alone in the capital wasteland. Spent most of my childhood picking through the ruins and selling scrap. When I was a bit older and had a few caps to my name, I moved into Rivet City and opened a junk stand. While I was there, I met a guy named Cutler. We got along pretty well. Watched each other's backs and kept each other out of trouble. When the Brotherhood came through on a recruiting run, we felt like it was a way out of our nowhere lives. So we joined up.
Rivet City. Must be post-war, because I've never heard of it.
You're right. It was a settlement, built inside the remains of a beached aircraft carrier. One of the safest places to live in the capital wasteland, until the Brotherhood arrived. It was the perfect location for me to try my hand at being a merchant.
I'm glad you had greater ambitions than just selling junk.
Once I saw what the Brotherhood had to offer, there was no comparison. Anyway, about a year after we were posted to the Prydwen, Cutler vanished on a scouting op. It took some convincing, but I was able to persuade my CO to let me assemble a squad and search for him. It took almost 3 weeks, but we tracked his team down to a super mutant hive. Those wretched abominations had slaughtered everyone but Cutler. He should have been so lucky. The mutant bastards used their FEV to change him into one of their own kind. He wasn't Cutler anymore. I had to... It was my duty to put him down.
Hey, you did what the Brotherhood taught you.
Then you understand why it had to be done. Ever since Cutler died, I've seen other soldiers come and go. Some were brave, some were honest. Hell, some were even downright heroic. But I'd never considered any of them to be a good friend. A friend like Cutler was. Until now. It's a good feeling, but it frightens me all the same. Having a bond with someone, then losing them. It changes you. I don't want to go through that again.
It would never be that way with me. I care about you too much to let that happen.
I didn't know you felt that strongly about about us. I'm sorry if I seem confused. You've certainly given me something to think about. I just thought you deserved to know how I felt. If you feel that I've overstepped my bounds, I completely understand. Whatever the case may be, I appreciate the fact that you took the time to listen. And Halen.
She's as dedicated as they come. A real team player.
I couldn't agree more. But I wasn't looking for an evaluation of her performance as a scribe. I wanted to know what you thought of Halen as a person.
So there is a heart beating under all that armor after all.
I suppose I deserve that. I just don't normally find these discussions easy to handle, so I try to avoid them at all costs. The truth is, I'm worried about her. Since you and I are getting along so well, I felt like I could confide in you about it, to get your honest opinion.
She seems to be able to handle herself. Why are you worried?
Halen is a model scribe. This has nothing to do with her capabilities in the field. A few months before you found us, One of my men was shot multiple times by raiders. Halen stayed by that knight's side for 2 days straight, without sleep, fighting to keep him alive. But he was on a slow decline. I decided that his suffering needed to end, and ordered Halen to administer an overdose of painkillers, so he could die with dignity. Even though I'm certain she wanted to continue fighting for that knight's life. She injected him without question.
She did the right thing.
Of course she did. But the decision whether or not to ease that soldier's suffering isn't the point here. The point is what happened later that same evening. Halen approached me while I was on watch. She didn't say a word, but I could tell something was wrong. After what felt like an eternity, she collapsed into my arms, crying. I didn't know what to do, so I just held her for a while. A few minutes later, she stopped, kissed me on the cheek, and simply said, "Thank you," before heading back into the police station. Right then it hit me. Maybe I pushed her too hard. I ordered her to ignore her instincts, to do something her medical training told her was wrong. That's why I'm worried about her, and for that matter, everyone under my command.
Halen will be fine. It's you that I'm worried about.
Me? I see what you're getting at. I guess I never thought of it that way. Look, 4 soldiers. Over half of my team are gone. Each one of them died because of decisions that I made. I understand the risks that come with the job. We all do. But how can anyone have confidence in me anymore? Hell, how can I have confidence in myself?
Would it make you feel better if I told you that I believed in you?
Actually, it does. Well, it looks like things have taken a turn. I signed up to be your sponsor, so I teach you everything that I know. But it looks like I'm the one that needed the lesson today. All joking aside, I'm pleased that we had this discussion. And with all the problems you're facing, you still took the time to listen. It's comforting to know that I can speak to you as more than just your commanding officer.
Does this mean you'd be there to hold me if I ever needed it?
I don't know. I never thought you'd ask me something like that. It would depend on the circumstances, but I suppose we'll just have to see what happens when the time comes. Anyway, thanks for letting me get that off my shoulders. I think it's been weighing on me more than I realized. I'm only sorry you had to see me at my worst, instead of at my best. Yes.
Are you okay, Dad?
I'm sorry. I really thought this would be easier to talk about. There's so much I wanted to say, but I don't know where to start.
Take it easy, Dance. Whatever it is, I'll help you work through it.
I don't know if anything will help me work through it. I've spent my entire life, or at least what I perceive as my life, following a plan to shape my own future. But since my banishment, I feel lost. Almost like I exist without purpose. For the first time since that moment I signed up with the Brotherhood, I don't have all the answers. I don't have a plan, and it scares the hell out of me.
Do you really need a plan?
That's not the point. Don't you understand? Everything I had, everything I knew is gone. In the span of a few hours, my identity was ripped from me and my world turned upside down. At least what you had was something tangible, something real. Your wife, your son. They were living, breathing humans who loved you and cared for you. Those sons of bitches who created me couldn't even be bothered to implant memories of having siblings or parents. I don't even know how much of my own past is artificial and how much is real. Can you even imagine that? I started out as nothing, and I've ended up as nothing. And I don't know what the hell to do about it.
Hang in there, Dance. You need to fight this thing.
I'm not giving up. Not yet. I suppose you're right. Maybe I'm just missing the point. My life's starting over. And I need to come to terms with everything I've lost and everything I've gained, which includes something important you've made me realize. I don't know if it's friendship or an anomaly in my programming. After all, I'm not really human, but whatever it is, I can't deny that I'm feeling closer to you than anyone else I've ever met.
I feel the same way, Dance. I'm only hoping it's more than just friendship.
Are you saying you're in love with me? This doesn't make any sense. After everything the Brotherhood taught you, how could you be in love with, well, a machine?
You're not a machine, Dance. In fact, you're more human than most people could ever hope to be.
You don't know how much it means to me to hear you say that. Look, I'm not gonna lie to you. You're going to have to be patient with me. Coming to terms with these, well, human feelings is gonna be a very difficult journey. But if we can tackle those obstacles together, I think that this relationship could last a very long time. Better than a training exercise.
How do you think things are between us?
I don't know. I haven't killed you yet. That good enough?
Nothing else I needed.
Sure.
Sounds like you had a rough time of it back there.
Rough? That's putting it mildly. Let's put it this way. Can't get much rest when you're sleeping with one eye open. Still, it was the best place for me to set up shop. Diamond City's goons would have run me out of town, and wandering the Commonwealth alone isn't the brightest plan when you're hard up for caps.
Caps are pretty important.
You're goddamn right they are. Right now, I need every cap I can get.
Sounds pretty bad.
I guess you could say that. I don't usually go around sharing stuff like this, but you've been pretty straight with me, so I'm gonna be straight with you. It's those two those two idiots you saw me talking to at the third rail. Winlock and Barnes. They've been hounding me for months, and it's been driving off clients. No one wants to touch me once they learn I used to run with the Gunners. And I figured if I could get enough caps together, maybe I could buy them out.
Just kill them and be done with it.
If it was that simple, I would have done it already. Winlock and Barnes have a small army of gunners with them at all times. They might decide to just keep the caps and put a bullet in my head for good measure. If I set up a place to meet them, I'm sure they'd roll in with everyone they've got. Unless, maybe you and I could pay them a little visit and put an end to them before they realize what's going on. Before you get that look on your face, let me just say that I wouldn't even be asking if I didn't trust you.
If you need my help, I'm there.
Wow. I don't know what to say. Truth is, I haven't been able to rely on anyone since I was a kid. Everyone I've met has either tried to rip me off or plant a knife in my back. But you're different. We see eye to eye on almost everything. And I have a funny feeling you actually care about what happens to me. That's why I asked for your help. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna make this easy on you. If you feel like helping me with this, head over to the Mass Pike Interchange and we'll take them down. If you don't, I'm not going to hold it against you. Either way, thanks for hearing me out. It's nice to know that you care.
Cola. Nuka-Cola.
I'm gonna go.
Oh. You and your mercenary.
Hey.
What do you want?
Hey there.
This should send a message to the Gunners to stay off my back.
I'm sure they heard you loud and clear.
Definitely. The Gunners, it's always about the bottom line. And they just lost this entire way station, and that cost them big. Besides, they have no way of knowing I was involved. Anyway, I guess I owe you a favor now. After all, you hired me, but I'm the one that dragged you out here.
You don't owe me. You clearly needed the help.
Sure, but I like everything to remain nice and even. And you're one up on me. Tell you what, I'm going to give you back the caps you paid me in Good Neighbor. I'll still stick with you because that was part of the original deal, but now we're even. There you go. And I guess we're done here. Lead on, boss.
Actually, I'm quite impressed.
Yeah, I thought you might be. I'm completely self-taught, you know? Picked up a sniper rifle when I was 10 and never looked back. Always thought it was smarter to hit my targets at long range. I mean, why take chances, right? Besides, I had to come up with every trick in the book to survive the Capital Wasteland.
What were you doing in the Capital Wasteland?
I was born there. Lived underground in a place called Little Lamplight with a bunch of other kids. Left there when I was around 16. We kind of had a policy there. No adults. When you were 16, you packed up and left. I know, it sounds crazy, but having adults around was something we couldn't trust.
How could a bunch of kids survive without help?
Everyone pulled their own weight. Just like a colony you'd find anywhere. We all had our designated jobs and we watched each other's backs. Can you believe I was actually the mayor for a while? Me. Crazy, I know.
Pretty brave. A bunch of kids living alone like that.
I don't know. Looking back on the whole thing, I think we were just lucky. Anyway, when I hit 16, I ended up wandering the Capital Wasteland for a while. I took the odd job here and there, but things were pretty hot with the Brotherhood of Steel running the show. So I hitched a ride with a caravan and made my way north until I ended up here. Made a pretty decent name for myself before I heard that the gunners needed some sharpshooters. Biggest mistake of my life. They were animals. Killed anything that moved if it got in their way. I went with it for a while because the caps were good, but I don't know. I guess it started to catch up with me. So I quit, which pretty much brings us to now. So there you have it. My whole life in a nutshell.
Sounds like the road can be a lonely place. Until you meet someone to share it with.
I never thought of it that way. Maybe that's why I feel so comfortable telling you all this. Look, I know I tend to be a pain in the ass. I know I tend to be arrogant and I come off like I want to be alone. Nothing could be further from the truth. Being alone scares the heck out of me. Now that we've been traveling together for a while, I'm beginning to realize how much I missed having someone I could depend on. I just wanted you to know that I'm going to do everything I can to see that it stays this way. Well, that's all I had to say. Hope you got something out of all that. I know I did.
Is that a Pip-Boy?
We're friends. No thanks necessary.
Well, I wanted to say it anyway. You stuck your neck out for me. I don't forget things like that.
Cursing doesn't offend me, you know.
I didn't think it did. It's not about you, it's about a promise I made. When I left the Capital Wasteland, I didn't just leave Little Lamplight behind. I left my family behind. Had a beautiful wife named Lucy, and a son we named Duncan. He's the one I made my promise to. I promised to clean up my act and to be a better person. I guess that sounds pretty stupid coming from a guy who shoots people for a living.
You must have had a good reason to leave them behind.
That's what I keep telling myself. My son, he's sick. I don't know what's wrong with him. One day he's playing out in the fields behind our farm. The next he took a fever and these blue boils popped up all over his body. Last I saw, he was almost too weak to walk. I didn't dare ask him to come with me. Honestly, I don't know how much longer he's going to last.
There must be something we can do.
I was hoping you'd say that. A few months before we met, I bumped into a guy named Sinclair who claimed his buddy caught some kind of disease. I thought he was wasting my time until he said his partner broke out in blue boils. They dug up information about a cure at a place called MedTech Research. They even managed to grab the building's lockdown security codes. Unfortunately, Sinclair's buddy died before they were able to break into the facility. I mean, there's no way that's a coincidence, right? MedTech has to be the place.
I hope so.
For Duncan's sake, I do too. I'll put MedTech Research on your map. When you're ready, just take us out there. I have all the codes we need to get through their security. What you're doing, no one's ever cared that much about me before, even if it takes me the rest of my life. I'll repay this debt to you. I swear it.
Perfect. Hey.
Well?
Here you go, MacReady.
Holy crap, we actually did it! We just gave Duncan a fighting chance to live. I don't know how I'll ever be able to pay you back for this. I owe you big time.
All I care about is curing your son.
I know you do. I'm just getting tired of taking instead of giving. Maybe one day I'll learn to get my priorities straight. Anyway, the last step ahead of us is getting the cure to Daisy and Goodneighbor. With her caravan contacts, she's the only one I trust to get this to Duncan on time. This is the last favor I'm going to ask. I promise. Let's go.
Hey.
Hold up. I think we need to talk.
Sure, go ahead.
Appreciated. I've been waiting for the right moment to talk to you, and I suppose this is as good a time as any. After helping me get Duncan's cure for MedTech, I figured I owe you something. And I always pay my debts. Here. I wanted you to have this. I know a carved toy soldier is a strange reward for risking your life, but this one's special. It means a lot to me.
Thank you.
You're welcome. My wife Lucy gave this to me right after we met. I told her I was a soldier, and she made it for me. Never could bring myself to tell her the truth. That I was just a hired killer. And the soldier story was the best thing I could come up with. I didn't want to lose her because of what I was.
I'm sure you had good intentions.
I had a feeling you'd get where I was coming from. It doesn't really matter anymore. She died a few years back. We made the mistake of holding up in a metro station one night. We didn't know that the place was infested with ferals. They were on her before I could even fire a shot. Ripped her apart right in front of me. There was nothing I could do. Took everything I had to escape with Duncan in my arms. Maybe it would have been better if we died there with her.
You may have lost your wife, but you saved your son. That counts for something.
Maybe. I don't know anymore. Damn, I miss Lucy. No matter how bad things got, she was always there with a shoulder to lean on. It gave me... Well, it gave me the courage I needed to press ahead. To never give up. When she died, I thought that feeling was gone forever. Then I met you. You have the world's problems in your back, and here you are helping me with mine. Lending me your shoulder like Lucy did. I just want you to know how much your friendship means to me.
I was hoping what we have together could be more than friendship.
I don't know. I mean, I never thought of us that way. What about your wife? I know she's gone, but you still love her, don't you?
That's the past. You're all that matters to me now.
I don't know what to say. I know I was taking a chance dumping all my feelings on the table. But now that I know how you really feel about me, it was definitely worth the risk. For once in my life, everything's going right, and I have you to thank for it. I don't think anyone in the world could ask for a greater gift than that. Thank you. Ready to face the day?
Are things all right between us?
I guess I still got some reservations, but I think we got some promise. So long as taking care of the folks of the Commonwealth stays on the agenda.
That was all I had.
Gotcha.
Of course. What's up?
Look, I needed to mention. Just you taking care of Bobby. I ain't proud of having to put you through that. That sort of dictatorial shit ain't usually my style.
She tried to dupe us both. Dealing with her was the right move.
True, but it doesn't change the fact that she's out of the picture because of us. Hell, that sort of bull's the whole reason I became mayor in the first place. Some ass named Vic ran the town for I don't know how long before that. Guy was scum. Used us drifters like his own personal piggy bank. He had this goon squad he'd use to keep people in line. Every so often, he'd let them off the leash, go blow off some steam on the populace at large. Folks with homes could lock their doors, but us drifters, we got it bad. There was one night, some drifter said something to them. They cracked him open like a can of cram on the pavement. And we all just stood there, did nothing.
You can't blame yourself. Sounds like you were outmatched. Probably would have killed you too.
You're right. But it was still spineless. I felt like less than nothing. Afterwards, I got so high, I blacked out completely. When I finally came to, I was on the floor of the old state house, right in front of the clothes of John Hancock. John Hancock, first American hoodlum and defender of the people. I might have still been high, but those clothes spoke to me, told me what I needed to do. I smashed the case, put him on, started a new life as Hancock. After that, I went clean for a bit, got organized, convinced Cleo to loan me some hardware, got a crew of drifters together and headed out into the ruins, started training. Next time Vic's boys went on their tear, we'd be ready for them.
The fact that you're standing here and Vic isn't would suggest things went well?
Oh yeah. So, the night of, we all got loaded, let Vic's boys get good and hammered, and burst from the windows and rooftops where we'd been hiding. They never even saw it coming. We didn't have to fire a shot. We didn't have to, but we sure fucking did. It was a massacre. Once we'd mopped up, we strolled right into Vic's quarters in the State House, wrapped a rope around his neck, and threw him off the balcony. And there I am, gun in hand, draped in Hancock's duds, looking at all the people of Goodneighbor assembled below. I had to say something. That first time I said them, they didn't even feel like my words. Of the people, for the people, was my inaugural address. Became Mayor Hancock of Goodneighbor that day. And from then on, I vowed I'd never stand by and watch. Ever again.
And you're never gonna have to. We'll take care of the Commonwealth together.
Good. I just hope you get where I was coming from. I ain't out to bring harm to anyone that didn't earn it. Though I'm getting the distinct idea you got the same plan. Well, you probably heard enough of me running my mouth for one day. Wanna get moving? I'd had my doubts when we first hit the road.
Thanks. You're not so bad yourself.
I never get many complaints. It's just real rare these days. Find someone who's not willing to take things the way they're handed to them. Too many good folks not willing to get their hands dirty. And too many assholes taking advantage of it. Look at what happened to Diamond City. Before McDonough took over, it was a half-decent place to live. A little stricter than I usually go for, but not terrible. I thought he and I had a pretty happy childhood. But then he decides he's gonna try and get elected with his anti-ghoul crusade. Mankind for McDonough. Before you know it, you got families with kids lining up to drag folks they call neighbor out of their homes and throw them to the ruins.
How could they do something like that?
There'd always been a pretty big gulf between the folks living in the stands and folks down on the field. McDonough ran on it because he thought enough of those upper stands assholes would vote for him. Guess he was right. I remember storming into his office above the stands after the inauguration speech. He was just standing there, staring out the window, watching as the city turned on the ghouls. He didn't even look at me. Just said, "I did it, John. It's finally mine." Should have killed him right there, but I don't think it would have changed anything. Instead, I pleaded with him, begged him to call it off. He said he couldn't. He had nothing against the ghouls. He was just carrying out the will of the people. And he couldn't betray the voters. And then he smiled. That hideous fucking mile-long smile. He never smiled like that when we were kids. I didn't even recognize him.
He murdered those ghouls.
Him and that whole damn city. I still wasn't a ghoul at this point, so I didn't have to leave, but I couldn't bring myself to stay in that cesspool after that. I'd been sneaking off to Goodneighbor for years to get decent chems, so I knew the safe routes. I managed to track down a couple of the families, lead them there, but most couldn't get used to the Goodneighbor lifestyle. I brought them food for a couple of weeks, but after a while, they just disappeared. Folks in Diamond City signed their death warrants, and all the good people were willing to just sit by and watch. I felt like I was the only one who saw how screwed up things truly were. Who couldn't just pretend things were fine. Still feel that way. Or I did. Until I met you. I know I run my mouth, but having someone who sees the world for what it is, and is willing to do something about it, it's meant a lot to me. I feel damn lucky to have you as a friend.
And that's what we are? Friends?
Well, now that you mention it, I have been having slightly more impure thoughts than usual. Maybe we'll get to, act on those. But I guess we should probably head out, huh? After you.
Hey. Hey.
Hey, you, got a sec? I need you to hear something.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. It's just, being out here with you, it's made me realize, most of my life to this point, I've been running out on the good things I got. I skipped out on my family, my life in Diamond City, took up with you just to get out of Good Neighbor. Hell, running from myself is what made me into a damn ghoul. But being here with you for the first time in my life, things have just felt right. And running is the furthest thing from my mind. I mean, I left Good Neighbor thinking I was gonna just sharpen up the old killer instinct. But whether it's fate, or destiny, or just goddamn coincidence, I ended up with someone like you. I turned one of the nastiest settlements in the Commonwealth into a refuge for the lost. I thought I'd done something I could hang my hat on. But being out here with you, it's made me realize just how small time I'd been thinking. And that maybe all my running, from my life, myself, maybe it wasn't such a bad thing after all.
You may have run, but you always ran for a reason, Hancock.
Been trying to convince myself of that for a long time. But hearing that coming from someone like you, I don't know if you understand what that means to me. So let me get to the point. Throwing in with you has been the best decision I've ever made. It's like I found a part of myself I never realized was missing, which happens sometimes when you're a ghoul. If I hadn't taken up with you, I'd probably be in a gutter somewhere, getting gnawed on by rad roaches. You have been one hell of a friend.
Have you ever thought about us as maybe more than just friends?
It that obvious? Come on, you don't want to wake up to this mug every morning. Never wish that on anyone I cared for.
You're just the way I like. Screw anyone who makes you feel ashamed.
Wasn't thinking about the folks doing the shaming. Moments like this, I know all that karma stuff is bull. Because no one like me should be this lucky. Come on, love. Let's get this freak show on the road. Morning, sunshine.
Things all right between us?
I'm glad I ran into you in Concord. I think you're gonna turn out to be the right choice to lead the Minutemen.
How do you feel about us?
I'll be honest, I'm still trying to figure you out. But I haven't given up on you, if that's what you're asking.
Sure, go ahead.
When we first met, I admit, I had my doubts about you. But you've done nothing but impress me. You're just who the Minutemen needed to bring us back from the brink.
Thanks. That means a lot coming from you.
You've probably realized by now how important the Minutemen are to me. When I was a kid, the Minutemen were my heroes. They were the only good guys around, really. When I turned 17, I joined up with Ezra Hollis's company. He was one of the good ones. Really believed in the old-time Minuteman way. We had a few good years there. I felt like I was part of something bigger than me. Like I was really helping make the Commonwealth a better place.
It sounds like you were really making a difference.
I think we were. I know we were. But obviously it didn't last. I'm sure there was a lot I didn't see or know enough to pay attention to. You know, the politics and rivalries and bad blood between the different groups. I guess General Becker was able to keep a lid on it, keep everyone more or less on the same team. But after he was killed, it all came out in the open. I couldn't believe it at first. These guys were supposed to be Minutemen. They were supposed to put their duty to the people ahead of everything else. You probably think I was pretty naive, huh? I guess I was. Still am, too. Even after everything, I still believe that the Minutemen can be what I always thought they were. The good guys.
We are the good guys.
We're doing our best. And a lot of it has to do with your example. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, thanks. Anyway, I appreciate you taking the time to listen.
Anytime, Preston.
Thanks, man. We probably better get back to it.
Anytime, Preston.
Look, I know I put you in an almost impossible position when I asked you to lead the Minutemen. I didn't have any right to ask you to take that on. I guess I was kind of desperate at that point. I still don't know why you said yes. If it was for me, or for the Commonwealth, or for some other reason. It doesn't really matter. I just want you to know that I appreciate what you've done. If you look at where we were then to where we are now, I can hardly believe it.
Thanks, Preston.
Thank you, General. I've taken up enough of your time. We'd better get back to it.
Thanks, Preston. I already know you think so.
I know, but I don't know if you really get it. How unusual you are. Since we met, I think you know I've really come to respect you, both as a leader and as a friend. Most people are just out for themselves, one way or another. Even the good ones. But you're different. You really care about other people, even when it isn't convenient or even safe. I've seen you risk your life more than once to help people, just because it was the right thing to do. I just wanted you to know that, well, that it matters. That you're making a difference.
If any of that's true, a lot of it is because of you, Preston. You've shown me how to be a better person.
Oh, thanks. That means a lot coming from you. Really. All right, enough chit-chat, huh?
Hey.
What do you need?
Hey, got a sec?
You have a minute? Well, I wanted to talk about something.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've been thinking back lately on how things were for me when we first met. It was the lowest point of my life. I mean, all my closest friends were dead. Everything I believed in had turned out to be a lie. I'd failed everyone who ever relied on me. I'd led them to Concord, and we had no hope of getting out alive. The thing is, that was actually okay with me. I was ready to die. It was what I felt I deserved. It was what I wanted.
You did your best, Preston. You can't blame yourself for what happened.
I knew it wasn't all on me, but I made my share of bad decisions along the way. I've got to live with that. My point in all of this is that, well, you saved my life. And not just by saving us from those raiders in Concord. I mean that you made me want to keep living again. I guess that sounds pretty sappy, but it's true. If we hadn't met, or if you'd killed those raiders and then just taken off, I don't know if I'd still be around. I think I would have found some way to, you know, end it. Maybe not by shooting myself in the head or anything, but just by not caring about staying alive. So I just wanted you to know that. How much our friendship has meant to me.
Have you ever thought about us becoming more than just friends?
Have I ever? You mean you've also? Hold on. You kind of caught me off guard there. Let me start over. If you're asking if I've ever thought about you romantically, the short answer is yes. But I didn't ever imagine that you could feel the same way about me. I mean, I know she's gone, but you still seem to be in love with your wife. I didn't think you were ready to move on.
I'm willing to give it a try. If you are.
You are? Really? That's fantastic. Wow, well, I don't really know what to say. We don't need to rush things. I'm just happy knowing that what I felt, that it was real, that it wasn't just in my imagination. You're gonna have to give me a minute to just enjoy this feeling. Hey there, sleepyhead.